So a while back, I bought this $400 dirt bag from the pawn shop, and it ended up having all these silver coins and even this diamond. That altogether was worth $469. So today I'm going back into the pawn shop to see if he has anything else for me to buy.
I'm kind of just looking for something unique to buy.
We got some silver in, Star Wars silver bars in. How about a money tree? This is a little money tree. This is not just your average money tree. This has actually got gold pay dirt in the soil.
So this is a money tree with gold in the soil?
Yep. You know those bags you buy with the gold in it? I actually bought a bag of that, took the old dirt out, and put that money tree dirt in there. Possibly a bunch of money in gold in the bottom of this.
Really?
Yep. You might find thousands of dollars.
How much do you want for it?
I'd probably take 60 bucks.
Would you do 40?
You want to flip on it? You win, you get it for 40. If
Okay.
I win, I get 60. Do you want to call it?
Heads.
Heads it is.
Oh, okay. All right, bet.
And if you find thousands of dollars in here, you're going to come back and give me my extra 20 bucks, right?
Yeah. All right, here's 40.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Hope you get rich.
Got a money tree.
So I've done a ton of videos in the past filling my storm cellar up with a bunch of random things, and I just saw Netflix came out with a documentary about my town's EF5 tornado in 2011, and I thought now would be a good time to clear out the storm cellar and prepare for storm season. And the first step was making space. I took out this mirror and this chair, and then all these Lego bricks from the previous video I made had to go as well, so I knocked them all down like this. And then I had to pick them up one by one, stack them, and take them out of the storm cellar. I stacked this one big tower like this, but sadly it fell down like this. And once we got all the bricks out, it was time to use the torch and get rid of all the spiders and bugs that have made their home there the last year. And the next step was taking this broom and sweeping up all the leaves and debris that was in the storm cellar to make it nice and clean. And now it looked like this, but it was still missing something, so I went to Walmart and got this lawn chair and this blanket to make the storm cellar a bit cozier. I laid down the blanket, put the lawn chair in the corner, and it was much better.
Ready for the storm.
So let me know what else we should do with the storm shelter. Last year I did this trend where when it's cold enough you can freeze ramen noodles. And now this year it's going to get down to -11, so I wanted to try the same trend out with spaghetti.
Apparently if it sticks, it's done. Say it's done.
I then drained the noodles and added the sauce, and it looked like great spaghetti to me.
Grandma's recipe.
And here was my bowl.
This is a model of what I'm going to do outside. And hopefully we can make the spaghetti freeze like this. And thick.
I'm going to come back in the morning and hopefully the spaghetti's frozen. So I left it to freeze overnight and I came back and it looked like this.
Let's see if it's frozen. It's currently still 2 degrees, so. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Levitating spaghetti fork.
And I gave it the upside down test and proved that it was perfectly frozen.
Yeah, that worked. The spaghetti is levitating. Levitating spaghetti.
So in my last video, I tried to make one of these ice hammers, and I tested the theory that if you put paper towels in water and freeze it like this, it makes way stronger ice blocks. And it actually turned out to be true. So you guys told me to make even bigger ice blocks to really compare the paper towel bricks versus the regular ice bricks. So here was the first test,
right in half.
and then here was the paper towel brick.
That is so strong.
It only put a dent in it. Yeah, it's way stronger. Here's me hammering some more.
Now the paper towel brick.
And then the paper towel brick that took way more force to break and only leaves dents.
Now I need a bigger
Here's
hammer.
me trying with a sledgehammer. It makes it to where it doesn't fully explode and it just stays in a chunk like this.
Drop test, regular ice versus paper towel ice. Here's the regular ice. Here's the paper towel ice. It's completely intact, so I'm gonna throw it harder.
And after the paper towel ice completely survived the fall, I decided to throw it higher like this.
This thing does not break to fall damage.
And then I threw it even harder on the ground. And it finally broke. Let me know what else I should try. Today I'm taking 2 fake items and 1 real item to the pawn shop to see if they can tell which one's which. I have these fake sneakers I got for $50 but actually sell for $500. And I also have this dummy fake iPhone and this real $180 silver coin.
2 of these items are not genuine, and 1 of them is. Here's the first item. We have this phone. See this new iPhone?
That is 100% fake. For one, it doesn't have the Apple logo on the back of it.
So you don't think this was real?
It's not real.
I've also got shoes here. Have you seen a lot of shoes like these?
We don't deal with a lot of shoes because there's a lot of fakes out there.
He looked him over and then asked what I paid.
Pay about $500 for them?
He found this listing and said they looked pretty real.
I'd say these are probably good. I think that's real. I think this is fake. I'm still up in the air on this.
And now the real item.
And then I have this genuine $180 piece of silver.
He first just weighed it and then got out this fancy machine and started testing it and said it was real.
I'd say it's good. So these are no good.
You think the silver is real, so you're saying the shoes are fake?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like the easiest thing to fool a pawn shop would be selling fake shoes.
That's why a lot of pawn shops don't deal with shoes. There's so many good fakes out there.
So in my last video, I tried to melt these gold leaves that I bought on Amazon to see if they were actually real gold or not. But they just charred and turned completely black, so I made another video where I melted the crucible from the bottom like this, like you guys suggested, and it left me with this little bead that I then took to the pawn shop, and he tested it and said it was fake.
Nope, that's not good.
So I spent even more money on these gold flakes that claim to be 100% genuine. I opened them up and they do look way more real compared to the old gold flakes. Here they are side by side. So to find out if these ones were real, I first put them in the crucible like the old ones and put the flame on them like this. And it kind of just shrunk it down, so then we just took it to the pawn shop to see if they were real.
Got some gold leaves here that I want you to test to see if they're actually genuine. It says on the bottle 23.5 carat genuine gold flake, 200 milligrams.
200 milligrams? Oh, squishy.
Oh yeah, it'll get all over your... And they were like 70 bucks.
For 200 milligrams?
So he pulled it out and dropped 22 karat acid on
It's
it.
not testing like it's real.
And it completely ate my gold leaf, so he tried an 18 karat acid instead. And it actually held up, but he still said this.
So do you think it's real at all?
I don't think it's real at all. And even if it's not,
And he said even if it's real, it's only worth $19.
I would not buy any more of their gold.
Today I'm turning this giant gummy bear into a frozen slushy gummy in the negative 11 degree temperature, along with this giant gummy worm and these little gummy bears and gummy worms as well. The first step is completely soaking them in Sprite for 24 hours. After 24 hours, they both looked like this. They had completely soaked in the Sprite and looked kind of weird. Then I had to drain all the Sprite to get them ready to be frozen outside. I then did the giant gummy worm, and some of the gummy worms got way bigger in the Sprite. We then took all the gummies outside like this and set them on the hot tub to freeze overnight. I checked on them after a few hours and they looked like this, so I just let them sit the rest of the night, and the next day they looked like this. So now it was time to test if they were slushy or not.
The gummy worm.
Yeah, the gummy worm was kind of hard to bite into. Here's a baby one. See if it works.
That worked.
And now it was time to take a bite out of the giant gummy bear.
Slushy bear.
And it was kind of slushy-like, but also really hard to bite into. And here was the giant gummy worm, which was kind of the same. Comment what else I should try. This is the purple seat cushion, and apparently it can protect an egg against anything. There's literally an egg right here on the package. So I just bought this giant ostrich egg, and we're gonna put the mattress to the test. I first tried with this normal egg.
We're gonna toss it down on there. 2, 1.
And it survived the initial impact, then fell on the floor and cracked. And now it was time to test the ostrich egg. I first just put it on the seat cushion and applied pressure like this. I then just put it in this tape roll and tried standing on it, and it still didn't break, so I tried bouncing it like this, and it wasn't doing anything to the egg. So I then had the idea to do a drop test where we wrapped the foam around the egg and put it in a box like this. I had to smush the purple grid all the way around the egg and then seal the box and duct tape it all around, and then we were ready for the drop test.
2, 1.
And we did the first drop, and it didn't seem like much happened, so I threw it a little higher. And then we went outside, and I threw it all the way up in the air. And it sounded pretty bad, so we had to open it up and see.
Let's see if the egg held up.
And inside, the ostrich egg was completely shattered.
That failed. Well, the ostrich egg did not survive.
This right here is an ice hammer, and I've seen people who make these hammers stronger by freezing them with paper towels like this, and so I wanted to test and see for myself if that really works. So I got out this tray and made 3 giant ice cubes with paper towels and 3 without. Then we froze the cubes overnight, and here's what the ones with paper towel looked like, and here's the ones that were just ice. Now it was time to see if the paper towel ice cubes were actually stronger. The regular ice broke like this, and the paper towel ice cube actually held up really well. Here's regular ice again, and then the paper towel ice, which took way more force to break. So clearly the paper towel breaks were way stronger than the ice. And this is how the paper towel and the ice break both shattered on the ground. And now I want to create my own ice hammer to see how strong I can make it. So I just made this resin mold of my hammer like this, poured the resin around the hammer, then let it sit overnight, and we had this mold that I filled with water and paper towel like this. And then after I froze it, it started melting and kind of fell apart like this. And it didn't really make a very good hammer anymore, so then I just did some strength tests comparing this regular ice hammer to this paper towel ice hammer, and the paper towel hammer was clearly stronger. So let me know what else I should try. So a while back I bought these money candles and found $2 $2. And then I bought this money soap and found $5. And now you guys told me to buy these mystery bath bombs that have rings inside that could be worth upwards of $100. So I bought 4 of them for $50, and this was the first ring we found. It looked like silver and diamond, but I really didn't know, so I just opened up the other one. It was this blue ring, and then I opened up the other one. It was a green ring, and the last ring looked like this. It was diamond colored and blue colored. And now it was time to find out if they were worth anything.
I bought these mystery bath bombs that had like mystery rings inside. I spent about $50 on 4 of these bath bombs, and I got all these rings here. I just want you to tell me what they're worth so I can see how much money I made.
How much you made? What are they supposed to be?
Some of them are worth like $20, $100.
Yeah, it's not even real gold or silver.
Diamond?
Diamonds are no good either.
Are they worthless?
Pretty much.
Then he tested it.
It's fake, yeah. See that copper underneath there?
And he acid tested
Gold
it.
still on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we put it on this one, you see how it's completely gone? So yeah, they're completely junk. They're not worth a thing.
Like not even $1?
Nope. Have a good day.
So in my last video, I bought this $200 box of lost packages, and only a few things inside ended up looking very valuable. So today I'm taking those items to the pawn shop to see what they're worth, including this unique mug and these diamond rings to find out if they're actually real.
What's up?
Hey, what do you got today?
I got a bunch of good stuff. So this is a workout device. It works your legs out. I don't know how it turns on and stuff. Yeah, it's got some good tension.
I think you're supposed to use it on your thighs.
So he looked it up and said it was worth 11 bucks.
$7.99.
Oh, so you wouldn't buy it?
I'd give you $3 for it.
Yeah, I'll pass for now. The next thing is we have this dress hoodie. You see, it's like a hoodie and a dress combined. It's very innovative, ahead of its time right now.
Because that sure looks like Chewbacca on Star Wars.
No, it's a hoodie. It's a dress hoodie.
That's what they call it?
That's what I call it.
Yeah, they're $25 on here.
And he said he'd do $5.
I'll do $5.
There you go, sir.
And next was this mug.
Fancy mug.
Oh, wow. I don't even think it holds water.
Then he poured water in it and it just leaked straight out.
Maybe it's just for decoration.
Okay, well this is the real value. I got these diamond rings here.
He examined the ring and said
They're
this.
marked sterling, but the diamonds aren't in.
So he then tested the silver and it was also fake.
Yep, they're not even silver. You got screwed in the drive-thru.
All my stuff's like worthless.
Except for your Snuggie over there. Have a good day.
So for the last several years, when the temperature has gotten cold enough, I've been freezing these giant water balloons. And last year, these balloons ended up freezing rock solid and turned into these giant ice bowls, in which one of them I broke, and then we took the other one and made this ice sled. And this is the coldest it's been all year at -1, so we got 2 more balloons, and one of them we're going to fill up with sawdust, because you guys told me that if I fill one of these balloons with sawdust, and then fill it up with water and freeze it, that it'll freeze all the way through instead of making an ice ball. So we started with that one, filled it all the way up with water, and then we had these other 2 red balloons, filled one all the way up like this, and then I just took this other one and filled it up a little bit to see what a small one would freeze like, and the next day they were completely frozen solid. So starting with the small one, I cut it open, and it immediately started leaking water like this, and then it broke. Then I broke it some more and then moved on to the big red one that immediately bursted open like this and made a little heart shape. And we broke all of that as well. And now it was time for the sawdust balloon. I cut it open and it immediately started leaking out like this and sawdust went everywhere. And this is how thick that piece was, so I just broke it. So in my last video, we prepped the storm cellar for tornado season by getting rid of all the stuff that I had put in there from all my previous videos, cleaning it completely out until it looked like this, and then added some things to make it more comfortable for storm season. But you guys told me it still needed more, so I took everything out, and you guys wanted me to add like a bed, so I put this air mattress in there. I pushed it down in the cellar and then shoved it in this corner like this. And then I added some more decoration, this rug right here, and this painting that I hung on the wall. So artsy. And then you guys also told me I needed a pet fish, so I got this robot fish and put it in this fish bowl. And then I took it down in the storm cellar and set it right here. And now here's a little compilation / tour of what the cellar looks like now.
Beautiful painting. This is the life.
And so now the storm cellar was even more decked out and ready to survive any storm. I saw several people online making these perfectly round aluminum foil balls, so I had to see for myself if it was really possible to take aluminum foil and turn it into a perfectly round ball. So I started with this wad of aluminum foil, and then I made it slightly bigger with some more aluminum foil, like this, wadded it up into a ball, and then started hammering it down with this mallet because you're supposed to condense it as much as possible.
Got it decently packed down.
I then hammered it on the ground to hammer it down a little bit more.
Here it is now. Beat it down quite a bit. All right, time for sandpaper.
Then I got out this first layer of sandpaper and tried to sand it for quite a while, but it wasn't really doing anything.
So it's not really coming off on the sandpaper. So I tried again, going a little bit longer and trying to round it out, but it still wasn't doing enough. And we had to make it a perfect ball. So I got out this electric sander with some even more coarse sandpapers, thinking surely this would do the trick, but I kept on sanding it and nothing was really happening besides the foil just kept ripping apart. And eventually it looked like this, and I gave up. It does feel slightly smoother. That failed. That failed.
Today I wanted to see if I could find more gold in a $40 bag of dirt or $40 worth of these gold bricks. Starting with the gold bricks, I unwrapped them all and then started putting them in this hydraulic press thing. And the first one had rock, and the second one also had a rock, but defying the 1 in 24 odds, in the third one we found gold.
Gold already!
With only a 1 in 24 chance, we'd found gold in the third one. The nugget was very tiny and weighed literally nothing on the scale, so we would need to find a lot more to start adding up the value. But after searching through the rest of the gold bricks, all we found was more rock. So now it was time to search through the $40 worth of dirt and see if we could find more gold. I sifted it out, and immediately we found a gold nugget that was bigger than the gold we found in the bricks. Then we found this other decent sized nugget, kept on searching and found a really tiny nugget, and this other really tiny nugget, and it was all starting to add up to way more gold in the dirt bag. We found a few more little tiny pieces, put it in this container, and then we weighed it, and it came out to 3.8 grams, about $13 of gold, while the other gold was basically worthless, and at most was worth maybe like $2.
This right here is 24 karat gold flakes, and today I'm going to be melting it to see if it's actually real gold. And I also have this other type of gold flake that I'm going to be melting as well. It came in these like paper sheets. So starting with the gold sheets, I added them all to this melting crucible. Then I got out this MAP gas torch and just blasted them, but the leaves just flew everywhere like this. It literally just took a small amount of air to blow the leaves, and I tried again but just charred the leaves completely black. So I then added a bunch more leaves to try again, and when I put the torch back on it, they all just blew away and turned black again. And I kept trying to burn them, but they just kept blowing away. Bruh. So I moved on to the gold leaves in this container. I poured them all in the crucible, and it turned out to be wet, and it was like alcohol smelling, and it kind of caught on fire like this, because I guess it was alcohol in there. So I took it outside to be safe. I'm gonna try to burn it outside. So I set it down on the concrete like so, and then caught them on fire again, but they all just blew away like this, and left no residue of any gold. Kind of proving that all the gold leaves were indeed fake and not real gold. That stuff's fake. So let me know what else you want me to test or try. So today I bought a $200 mystery box filled with people's lost packages with the goal of finding a ton of valuable stuff. The first package had this coat in it that I didn't really like. And then the next package has this Thigh Master exercise thing. Then this really colorful package had this cup in it. Then this pink package had these pantyhose in it. Then I just started opening a bunch of junk and clothes I would never wear. Found some baby bibs in this purse that had the price tag on it. This is 29 bucks. Then I found this. What I thought was like a sleeping bag was actually a dress hoodie. I don't know why someone would want this. Then I opened this package that looked pretty interesting, and it actually was this really cool looking mug. Then I got a bunch more clothes that were just weird looking and I would never wear. Kind of looked like cartoon clothing. Then I opened up this custom stamper thing that made these like custom stickers. And then a bunch more weird clothes that I guess never made it to people's houses. Then in this box I got all this workout stuff, this squat cushion thing. And then I was down to my last few packages and found this, what looked like diamond rings. And then in the last few boxes I found these pants, these wind chimes, and the last package was just some overnight cream thing. So this is everything I found. Let me know what I should try to sell at the pawn shop.
So in a previous video, I took all this copper and melted it into this singular round bar that I tried to sell at the pawn shop.
I'd probably give you 10 bucks for it.
And it was worth $10, but today I've got this furnace to create an even bigger copper bar. It heated it up, and then I poured it into this mold with water, which apparently you're really not supposed to do, but it made it all shiny and perfect like this. And there was still some leftover copper in the crucible that didn't melt all the way, so we heated it up and then poured it back into the mold, and it turned out great. And it boiled like this, but then stopped. Once it cooled off, we had 3 shiny copper bars to sell at the pawn shop.
I've got some high quality copper that I mined out of the ground, and then I melted into these bars.
You mined it out of the ground? Where do you mine copper at?
The copper mines. I figure they're worth a pretty penny.
Think so? Copper's not worth very much. You got 0.317 of a pound here. Copper's only worth about $3.50 a pound, so you've got about $1.20 worth of copper here. I could have sold you a bunch of copper coins.
Then he told me he'd sell me these copper coins.
Maybe I could buy these and make them into a bar.
You can do whatever you want with them after you buy them.
How much for these?
I do 40 bucks on them.
I'll buy them. That's all I got.
Alrighty,
So I bought the coins and we're gonna make them into a bar. So after selling the pawn shop guy all the gold I found in these dirt bags for $200, I wanted to see how much he would pay for the dirt bag itself, as well as these gold bricks that can contain real gold and this money soap that has a mystery amount of money inside. So it was time to see what he would pay.
So inside of this bar contains up to 5, 10, 20, 50, or even $100 bill. I'll sell it to you for 20.
Well, how do you know how much is in there?
It's a mystery.
So if I give you 2 and then there's not 2 in there, will you give me my money back?
Yeah, I mean,
So how about 5?
okay, yeah.
So he bought it for $5 and then he opened it up to see how much money he would find.
I broke even.
So now I got these gold bricks. There's a 1 in 24 chance of it containing real gold. So I got 2 of them here and I'll sell them both to you for $10.
Well, tell you what, how about I just buy one of them for $3?
And he just bought one of them for $3 and then he took it to this vise to bust it open to see what was inside. And it was just a rock.
Got screwed on that deal.
You know how I kept bringing you the gold I found in dirt bags? I thought instead of bringing you all the gold I found, I'd just sell you one of the dirt bags. This is a $50 bag of dirt.
You're saying I want to find $50 worth of gold in that?
There's probably at least $20.
How much you want for it?
I was thinking 40. I
Don't
mean,
sound like a good return.
so you don't want it?
Probably not. I tell you what though, I'll sell you this bag, and I guarantee you, it'll have some pretty nice stuff in there.
How much is it?
I would do 500.
And I just told him this.
I'll let my audience decide.
So like and comment if you want me to come back and buy the mystery bag. So after trying to sell this bag of dirt to the pawn shop guy, he turned me down and instead offered to sell me his own $500 mystery bag of dirt.
I'll let my audience decide.
And you guys told me to go back and buy it, so I have the money and we're gonna buy it.
So I let my audience decide and they told me I should buy it.
Oh, the dirt bag?
Yeah. What do you think about going 400 on it?
I can do that.
And we had a deal.
Hopefully you make some money.
Now it was time to see if I'd make my money back. I poured it out and immediately found this silver thing and this gold looking thing, as well as this gold looking ring that I didn't know how much was worth, and this little thing with gold nuggets inside. Then I found this silver dollar thing and a bunch of other silver coins. And I already had a decent looking pile of stuff. Then I found this random gold nugget that weighed almost a gram by itself. Then next we found this really tiny piece of gold and set it by the other piece. And then found this diamond that has to be worth like $100. And after searching through the dirt to make sure we didn't miss anything, we just kept on finding a few more gold nuggets, making the total weight of the gold 1.38 grams. This is what the gold looks like, and here's all the stuff. I put it in a bag. So let me know if I should go back and see what it's all worth.
So I tested if this purple grid could protect my giant ostrich egg by putting it in this box with the grid and then throwing it from multiple different heights. And unfortunately, the ostrich egg did not survive. But you guys told me I needed to do it again, but do a proper weight test like in the original purple ad. So I've got several different weights here, and I'm going to be placing each one on top of the ostrich egg using this door and see how the ostrich egg holds up. Starting with the 5-pound dumbbell that we just sat on the door and then slowly placed on the ostrich egg. We let all the weight rest on it, and it did nothing, as expected, so we moved on to the 20-pound dumbbell. Swapping out the 5 pounds for 20 pounds. Alright, dropping on the ostrich egg. Let go. And with all 20 pounds on the ostrich egg, it also did nothing. The ostrich egg is okay. Now this 66-pound anvil. I have a feeling this anvil might crush the ostrich egg. So let's find out. 2, 1, slowly. Let off pressure. All the weight is on the ostrich egg. And the anvil also did absolutely nothing to the ostrich egg, so we had to step it up. Now I'm going to try to do my body weight. Put the egg on here. We set the door back on the egg, and then I slowly tried to balance on it. And once I found my balance on the door, I slowly put all my weight onto the egg. I'm leaning all my weight on the egg. And this happened. Oh! Oh! It did not support. The egg did not hold up.
The other day I bought this gram of gold for
$110.
and then I turned around and took it to a pawn shop to see how much money I'd
Give
lose.
you $93.35 for it. It's actually what it's worth in scrap.
And I lost $17. Now you guys want me to buy it back and sell it back to the original dealer.
Remember that gold I sold you the other day? I was actually wanting to buy it back because I regretted selling it.
You know, gold's gone down a little bit since you sold that, right?
Oh really? What's it worth now?
A gram of gold right now, $92.66. We work on a very small profit margin on gold and silver.
How much would you sell it for today then?
Out of a gram, I normally get $100, so if you want it for $100, you can have it.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
So I bought it back.
Thanks for my gold back.
And now it was time to see what the original gold shop would pay for
I'm
it.
back with the little piece of gold you sold me.
Okay.
I wanted to see what it was worth today.
Yep, that's my holder.
So I'd actually sold it to a pawn shop and then I regretted it and bought it back. Now I'm thinking I want to sell it again.
So let's look and see what spot is. 29.12. That comes up to $93.64.
93 bucks. That's pretty good.
Want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
20, 40.
So I sold the gold at scrap and lost $7 more. So in my previous videos, I bought a jar of oil from this oil man, and I found out it wasn't worth anywhere near what I
I think you
paid.
paid way too much for it. I'd give you probably 50 cents for
But
it.
today I'm going back to buy a small piece of a well and sell it back to the pawn shop.
Hey,
how's it going?
What are you doing back here, old boy?
I'm actually interested in getting in the oil business with you.
You know, I could use a partner whenever I get to thinking about it. Did you bring your checkbook with you?
Yeah, I got some money.
Well, you just come with me, boy. Well, you see this here oil well? I'm gonna let you end up buying a little percentage in this well. It's called a royalty interest.
And a small percent would only cost?
$250.
So I looked it over and said, looks like a good investment to me.
All we need to do here is sign this oil royalty interest agreement.
Should I have a lawyer look at this?
It's all just real simple. I wouldn't worry about it.
So I signed and I was now a small owner in the oil business. Time to sell it at the pawn shop. So I bought oil royalty interest. Basically, I have a small ownership stake in this oil well that makes a lot of money. I paid $250 and I got a small percent.
What does it say your percent?
My
Oh,
percentage.
0.00001?
Yeah,
That's like nothing. What's it make?
it makes a few thousand a month or something.
A couple thousand a month?
Yeah. And he told me I would only make
2 cents a month. And you gave how much?
250.
It'd take you about 10.5 years to get your money back.
Oh.
Doesn't sound like a very good investment.
Well, what would you pay for this?
I'd give you $2.50.
I'll just keep it then.
So about a year ago, I had a jeweler melt all these little gold nuggets into this one piece of gold. And the pawn shop guy told me it was worth
$725.
No way.
I'd give you $700 for it.
And instead of selling it, I decided to keep the piece of gold as an investment. But since it's been a year now, I wanted to see if my gold had gone up in value. So I'm taking it back to the pawn shop to have it reappraised.
Hey, so remember a long time ago when I'd melted all those gold nuggets into like this one little piece? It was worth what, like $700, $750 at the time?
I don't remember.
Well, I just wanted to see if it'd gone up in value. I think I heard something about gold's gone up a lot. So I just wanted to see how much it was worth now.
Let's check it.
So he reweighed it.
10.6 grams. That's gone up quite a bit.
Oh my.
1,046 now.
That's like worth like $1,000?
Yep. I would give you $941 for it, which is 90%.
Oh my god.
You can actually make money on it now.
So it's gone up $300 in value basically in a year. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep holding on to it.
Might as well. Unless it starts tanking. If it tanks, you can
Wait,
get rid of
it
it.
can go down? Well, I might just hold on to it.
That's
but
fine.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Today I'm buying gold from one pawn shop and selling it to a different pawn shop to see how much money I lose. Starting with the first one, I asked for their tiniest piece of gold. How much for your smallest piece of gold?
We have 1 grams today at $110.
Is that little piece right here?
Yes, those 2 in the corner, and we have more in the back if you want more than 2. Just the one?
I looked at it and told them I'd take it. I'll do it. 20, 20,
All right.
110.
What would you like to receive?
And we had our gold. Thank you. Got the gold. Now it was time to see how much the second pawn shop would pay. I've got a really tiny gold bar I want to see how much is worth.
Tiny? It's not that tiny. I've seen smaller. That's only a gram? Wow. What do you want to do with that?
I told them I wanted to sell it. Yeah, I'd like to
See
sell
what
it.
it's worth?
See how much you'd pay for it.
I'll give you $93.35 for it. It's actually what it's worth in scrap.
And that was the true value, so I said we had a deal. Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
You want to sell it?
Yep, 93 bucks.
Alrighty. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, $3. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
So I lost $17. Let me know what else to do. So the other day I went into the pawn shop and bought these real police handcuffs. I want to see if you had anything interesting that I could buy.
I did buy a cool pair of handcuffs from a cop. They're the real deal.
These are like real police handcuffs.
I'll try them on. They're pretty cool. Crap, I don't have a key for those yet. I do have a paperclip though.
Then I asked him how much.
I'll let you have them for 25 bucks.
So I gave him $25 and now it was time to figure out how to get out. Starting with the first strategy. Now I'm gonna try to get out. The pawn shop guy gave me this paper clip. We're gonna see if this method works. So starting with the paper clip, I just stuck it in the handcuffs. Alright, here's the keyhole. I wiggled it around in the keyhole for a while and made no progress, so I moved on to the next method, banging it against this ladder. And when that didn't work, I just hooked the handcuffs onto this ladder and watched this video where this cop shows that all you have to do is pour water on your hand and you can get free. Give me the water. So I did exactly that. I poured the water directly on my hand. Oh, it's kind of working. And it actually started to work. Oh, that hurts. Squeezes my bone. And after a little bit of time and pain, I was free. Oh, yo, I got out. I'd gotten out of the handcuffs and my hand was pretty red. Since Tik Tok's getting banned tomorrow, I thought to appreciate everyone that supported me along the way, I would start writing all of your names on the rubber band ball. So I got out a Sharpie and scrolled on a random name and wrote their name on the ball. And then my brother decided to write his name on the ball second. And then we just continued writing as many names of my followers as we could on the rubber band. And let me just take a second to say I never thought the rubber band ball would be as big as it is today. And it was only because of your guys' comments and support that I kept on making the ball bigger and bigger. It's crazy I started this ball 4 years ago, and now TikTok's about to be banned. And after about an hour, we had a ton of names on the ball, and it looked like this. So like if you want your name on the ball, and goodbye forever. Just kidding, follow me on YouTube. So after many failed attempts to make a genuine Prince Rupert's drop that shatters when you break the tail, today I finally did it. It all started in my last video when I tried this new type of glass you guys told me to use, which did make a drop that survived my hammer, but it wasn't a truly genuine drop. Which brings us to now where I'm attempting to melt a drop in WD-40 at your guys' request. So using the new glass, I melted a drop into the WD-40 and it started boiling and smoking like this. But little did I know I may have actually made my first genuine Rupert's drop. I then attempted to pull it out, but it was too slippery, so I then dumped it out to find the drop, and it was stuck at the bottom, so we had to pry it out like this. I got the drop unstuck and managed to keep it intact. And the drop was pretty dirty looking, but it was time to see if it was genuine. So I went straight to the test where we snipped the tail. When I snap the tail, it should shatter. So I snapped the tail and it happened. It actually shattered. There was glass all over the container and I'd done it. It was genuine. So WD-40 really can do anything. I finally did it. What would happen if you dropped a real life anvil on top of your foot? And since I don't want to find out the hard way, I have this ballistic foot here with real bones designed to simulate what would happen to a real foot. But first, to demonstrate just how powerful the anvil is, we're going to use it to try to break open this safe. We dropped it a couple times like this, and then I just threw it on top of it like this. Caved the door in. And we got it open.
That worked.
Now let's see what happens to the ballistic foot. This thing's got real bones and should simulate what would happen to a real foot. All right, footy. So I just sent the anvil onto the foot like this and went right into the toes.
We just clipped the big toe.
Then I tried again, aiming for the middle of the foot, but just hit the toes again, which looked pretty messed up. Then I just threw the anvil like that, which looked nuts in slow-mo, and it made the toes start completely separating. And then I just proceeded to throw it on it multiple times like this to see how much damage it could do. Here's the slow-mo shots. And the foot was already pretty messed up, but with one more final blow like this to the center of the foot was disintegrated. Today I'm moving my 1,200-pound rubber band ball to my warehouse. And if you don't know the story, I started this ball back in 2020 after using rubber bands to explode a watermelon. And after a few years, it grew into this massive ball, and it's just been sitting here in my garage for a while. So now it's time to move it to a bigger space so we can work on it again. And we had to bring out the big machinery to move it out of the garage like this, and we were able to pick up the ball and move it out of the garage, which looked insane. Then the FedEx guy saw it and recognized it, so he needed a picture by it. Then we continued on, moving the ball on down the road, and we moved it all the way through my neighborhood and up onto this trailer, which looked absolutely ridiculous, and I just watched in awe as we were able to get it on the trailer and stabilize it. Then we loaded it up and took it to the warehouse, where we then unloaded it off the trailer and drove it directly into the warehouse, and then to the spot where we would begin working on it again. We unhooked it and rolled it off into the spot, and thankfully it didn't run into the wall, and we perfectly succeeded in moving it. So comment down below what you guys want me to do with the rubber band ball. Yeah! This thing's freaking huge. So I recently bought this $400 mystery dirt bag from the pawn shop guy, and I found a bunch of neat stuff in it, including this gold ring, a bunch of silver coins, this diamond, and a bunch of tiny gold nuggets I put in this container. And now I'm taking it back to the pawn shop guy to see if it's all actually worth what I paid.
You already went through that dirt? I had actually made a list of what all was in there.
We have this.
That's a 1 ounce of silver. That's worth about $32.
We got this bullet chain.
We sell those for $1.
We got this other silver coin.
That's a peace dollar. Those are worth about $29.
And I started adding up what everything was worth, and then I pulled out the ring.
That's actually a gold ring right there.
And it was actually worth,
in melt value, $100.
And I got out the diamond I found. It's a little diamond we found.
Quarter carat diamond.
So how much is that worth?
We normally buy those for about 50 to 100, but retail it's probably 300 or 400. You can figure it at 50 bucks.
And then all my gold nuggets.
5 pieces, so 1.4 gram. That's about 150 bucks probably in gold.
And then I had this last little bit of gold.
$30 worth of gold.
Bringing the total to...
Dang, that's $469.
How much did you give me?
I only gave you $400.
Well, you made a little money this time. That's why I told you 500.
Shoot, now I feel bad.
You've lost enough on the last deals. You're probably okay.
So I just got another 100K plaque for my Spanish channel, and I want to see how much I can sell it for at the pawn shop. But apparently the new plaques are smaller now, so I had to see for myself and compare it to my old 100K plaque, and they are indeed a lot smaller. So even more reason to pawn
What's up,
it.
Dylan?
I got something you probably never seen come through here.
What's that?
This is a 100K YouTube plaque.
100K YouTube plaque. How'd you get that?
One of my channels had 100,000 subscribers, and I just thought I'd see how much I could sell one of these bad boys for.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's a Spanish channel.
Dylan en Espanol. How much quanto dinero?
What do you want for it?
And it's pretty hard to get one of those. Gotta be worth at least like 300 bucks.
You think so?
Then he checked eBay to see what they went for.
That one sold for $87.
Someone sold that for $80? I'd need at least 300.
Yeah, I'd probably give you 50. If I sold it on eBay, they took 15%. I'm only gonna get 65 bucks. You might be better off just keeping it for yourself.
Yeah, I guess I can hang it up. I thought it was kind of rude that they're smaller now, so I was just like, I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah, you're probably better off keeping it.